Okay. Thank you. Question number 1 from Singapore, from J-Lo. While in meditation and contemplating on 5 aggregates, I have only managed to scratch the surface, and it doesn't allow me to penetrate deeper, offering unreserved insight into this truth. It always falls back into thinking that each of these 5 aggregates are parts of an elephant that is taken apart and then pull it back together. But it's still me. Will Venerable Ajahn please help us to elaborate and share skillful methods to help us develop our contemplation of these 5 aggregates to see that these 5 aggregates are all anatta?
See, when we contemplate, this is only like doing the homework. We have first to prepare ourselves to let go of the 5 aggregates. Before we can let go, we first have to know why we have to let go. So we study the 5 aggregates to see that they are not ourselves. They don't belong to us. We cannot keep them. One day, sooner or later, they will have to leave us, separate from us. But right now, it's still not happening. So it's like preparing the mind for the examination that will come about when you get sick or when you die. See? So when you contemplate on the 5 khandha, you're just merely teaching the mind to know the truth of the body, of the 5 aggregates, so that when the time comes for you to let go of them, then you can let go, because you know why you have to let go. Because if you attach, you will be sad, you will be unhappy. But if you let go, you will be peaceful and happy. So you have to wait for the time when you have to relinquish or let go of the 5 aggregates. Yeah. You can do this in 2 separate parts. You can first let go of the body, then you can let go of the nama khandha. They are 2 separate subjects that you have to solve, the two separate problems. With the body, you have to look at the body constantly to know that it's gonna get sick, get old, and die one day. Yeah. And once you know this, you have to let go of it, because if you cling to the body, your mind will suffer. Your mind will suffer because of fear, because you don't want the body to die. This is the desire not to die is the cause of your suffering. And if you don't want to suffer, then you have to let go of your desire. Stop desiring for the body not to die, because nothing can stop the body from dying. So when you see this truth that the body is something that you cannot stop from dying, and if you have the desire for it to not to die, then you will suffer. You will be in deep suffering. This is only imagining. When you contemplate, you are imagining the situation to prepare yourself when you come to the actual event, which can happen when something happens to your body. And if you are anxious, if you want to take the test, then you go find a place where you will have to dump your body, give up your body, like go into the forest where you are living among the wild animals, and you might not know when you might be attacked by these wild animals. And when you suddenly feel that you are being attacked, that you're gonna die, then you will then have to use this wisdom that you have developed and in your contemplation to teach the mind to let go of the body, not to cling to the body, not to have the desire not to die. Because when you have this desire not to die, you will suffer. But if you see that the body is gonna die and there's nothing you can do about it, then you're willing to let it go. You stop your desire from arising. When there's no desire, then your mind becomes peaceful and calm. And you might die, but your mind will be peaceful and calm and happy. So this is the way how to abandon, to to let go of the five aggregates. This is the body part. The nama khanda part, you have to deal with the painful feeling, which is dukkha vedana. The other vedana, they are no problem. So we have to deal with the one that is problematic. The one that is problematic is dukkha vedana, or painful feeling. Because when we get sick, we suffer. The reason why we suffer is because we don't want to get sick. We want to get well. And this is the cause of your suffering, not the sickness itself, but your desire not to get sick or your desire to get well. So you have to use wisdom and to see that you cannot force the dukkha vedana to disappear. They come and go by themselves. And the only thing you can do when they come is to be able just to accommodate them, not to have the desire to get rid of them. Because when you have the desire to get rid of them, you have suffering. But if you have no desire, you just keep your mind calm and peaceful and acknowledge the existence of this painful feeling. Then this painful feeling will not cause you any suffering. The cause of your suffering is your desire to have the painful feeling disappear. So when you have painful feeling and you can teach your mind just to remain calm, accommodate the painful feeling, don't deny it, don't want to get rid of it, then your mind will not suffer. Then you can let go. This is the way of letting go of your nama khanda. The other khanda, they work in conjunction with the vedana khanda. So you only have to deal with the vedana khanda. Sanya, sankhara, vijnana, they're just part of the group. But dukkha vedana is the leader. If you can deal with the leader, then the other three, they fall in line. So don't have to worry about sanya, sankhara, vijnana. You're actually changing sanya and sankhara. See, sanya will tend to tell you that this vedana is controllable. You can change them. But the truth is you cannot change them. We change them because we move the body around. When we sit and we become painful, we move the body, so the pain disappears. So we think that we can manage the feeling. But there are times when you get sick and there's nothing you can do. Even if you take medicine, sometimes the medicine will not help either. Then you know that this is something that you cannot change, but you can live with it and not be suffered by it if you have no desire for it to disappear. So the problem is your desire to have the painful feeling disappear. So if you can stop this desire and accept the painful feeling, then you don't have to do anything. When you get sick, you just remain peaceful and calm, and then the sickness will come and go, the painful feeling will come and go, and your mind will not be hurt by the painful feeling.
Okay. Question number 2 from Mark in Melbourne. Dear Thanachan, I read Longpo Tet's book where he states that wisdom can be developed only in upachara or neighborhood samadhi because jhana is too deep and the mind is inactive or passive in that state. Can Ajahn explain why jhana but not upachara samadhi is required to gain insight or wisdom?
See, the mind has two modes. The mind has samadhi mode and vipassana mode. First you have to develop the samadhi mode to strengthen the mind. Without samadhi, without jhana, the mind is weak. It cannot resist the desire. That's why we fall prey to our desire. Whenever we have desire, we cannot stop it. We have to do what our desire asks us to do. So we become slave to our desire. But if we can develop jhana, we can build strength for the mind to resist our desire. But then we sometimes don't know that our desire are the cause of our suffering. So we need to develop wisdom by understanding the Four Noble Truths that the Buddha had discovered, that our suffering arises from our desire. This we have to do this outside of jhana. When we are in jhana, the mind stops thinking, so we cannot develop vipassana. We have to come out of jhana. Then we can then use the mind to think and analyze the Four Noble Truths. That when I suffer because I have desire, and when I see that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, then I can stop my desire. When I stop my desire, my suffering disappears. So you have to use this when you come out of samadhi. When you face the problem, see, when you're in samadhi, the problem cannot go into your samadhi. You have to come out. When you come out, and you meet someone and they start to scold you and say bad thing about you, then you start to suffer. Then you have to use vipassana and say, see, I'm suffering. Why? Because I have the desire for them not to scold me, right? Usually we have the desire for people to say nice things to us. We don't want people to say bad thing about us. So when they say bad thing about us, we feel bad. But we don't have to feel bad. If we understand the nature of the way people say things, we cannot control them. They are anatta. They can say anything they want. But we don't have to suffer if we accept what they say and do not reject or do not wish that they say something else. So this is how we will solve our problem. We have to solve them when things really happen. When you face suffering, and then you use the Four Noble Truths to stop your suffering. When you have suffering, you can automatically presume that it's your desire that caused you to suffer. Like when someone say bad thing about you, you suffer. Why? Because you don't want people to say bad thing about you. But can you stop them from not saying not saying bad thing? You cannot stop them, right? So what can you do then? If you cannot stop them, you stop your desire instead. Let them talk. Let them say anything they want. When you let them do anything they want, and you don't react, then nothing happened to you. You don't feel bad or anything like that. You feel bad because you react. You don't want them to say bad thing about you. But they are like wind. Can you stop the wind from blowing? Do you feel bad when the wind blows? Because you accept it, right? You let the wind blow, right? You have no desire to wish the wind to stop blowing. So you don't feel bad when the wind blows. But when the wind comes out of the mouth of people, you feel bad. Because you want them to stop. Because you don't like this kind of wind. You don't like this kind of sound. So you have to solve the problem inside yourself, not with other people, with other things. People and things, you cannot control them. You cannot force them to do as you want them to do. But you can stop your suffering by telling your mind to stop having any desire toward those people or things. Don't have any desire for them to do this or do that, to say that or say this. Just let them be, That's the whole point. So if you can let them be, then whatever they do to you, it will not cause you any suffering.
Sorry, so he said that wisdom can be developed only in upachara samadhi. Is it?
Uchara or just a normal person. Actually, not upachara. In actual life, when you live day to day, when you face the problem, then you have to use wisdom to solve your problem. If you have wisdom, you'll solve inside here. You don't go solve outside. But if you have no wisdom, you'll go solve outside. If you run out of money, you go find more money. But with wisdom, you say, if you have no money, then don't spend any money. Stop spending. Then your problem is solved. See? All right? Okay.
Question number 3. When I have ill will, I cannot enter into jhana, but only when I have jhana, then I can have pure metta and be free from ill will. How can I break this cycle?
Well, you have to, when you're out of jhana, then you have to maintain your jhana by maintaining your mindfulness. See, your jhana can be maintained once you come out of your jhana. The peace, the feeling of goodwill will still remain if you stop your mind from thinking in the way of desire. See? As soon as you think in the way of desire, then your goodwill will disappear, because your desire will take over. You will want to do what you want to do, and whoever opposes you, you will want to crush them. See? Then your goodwill will disappear and your ill will come back. But if you can maintain mindfulness and prevent your desire from arising, then you can still maintain your goodwill. Or you can use wisdom when you come out, and try to use wisdom to crush your desire. Anytime you want to do something, do anything that will hurt other people, then you say, no, this is not the right way to do it. And you can still maintain goodwill. But if you cannot stop your desire, then you might start to do it, causing other people harm.
Question number 4. When I was at the stage where my breath disappeared, the moment I think that I just want to go back to knowing, I lose the concentration. What to do when my breath disappears, and where do I focus my attention to?
At the disappearance of the breath,
Yes.
at the emptiness. Don't think, see. Just keep focusing. Just beware there's no longer any breath. Just beware, pure awareness. Don't think.
Question number 5. I didn't feel a quick whoop, but a very slow feeling of falling, and together with it, there was tension energy moving downwards. I felt my head is dropping too. I have been stuck at this stage for 3 months. What should I do to progress from here?
Can you explain again what they mean?
Yeah. I didn't feel a quick whoop.
Is this the same person?
Yeah.
He's telling about when he's sitting in samadhi or what?
Yes, when he's in samadhi.
Okay.
So like he didn't, because Long Po always say there's a feeling whoop like falling down, but he said that it's not a quick whoop, but it's just slow falling down, like feeling falling.
It can be either way, no problem.
Yeah, and then the head is dropping, and how should I progress from here, because it has been there for like 3 months, always like that, like just a slow falling down.
Just keep maintaining mindfulness. Yeah. If you're using the breath, just keep focusing on the breath and ignore everything else. As long as your mind don't think and your mind remain calm, then it's good enough for now.
So
Maybe that's all you can do, because the strength of your mindfulness is not strong enough to force it to go deeper. Because you still work, you still use a lot of thoughts in your work. So you probably won't be able to get the kind of result that a monk or someone who's not working get, because someone who's not working has more time to maintain, develop mindfulness. That will become stronger, and that can force or pull the mind inside deeper. So you just have to be happy with whatever you get right now.
So slow falling down is
Okay.
a process.
Yeah, as long as you don't think and you feel good from it, it's okay. If your mind is calm and peaceful.
Question number 6 from Mediana Long. Don't know from where. I have a question regarding meditation. Before starting my meditation with my object of meditation, which is the breath, I'll perform scanning of my body, start from my head to toe. However, sometimes I feel strong pulse or beat on my head. Am I doing it correctly? If no, how can I get rid of this strong pulse?
If you want to have the mind become concentrated and calm, you have to focus only on one object, either your breath or some other part of your body, and stay there. Don't scan the whole body. Just stay in one place, like your breath. Or you can use a mantra. You can recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then your mind can become concentrated and calm. Otherwise, you will not become calm because you're moving the mind around.
And there's a strong pulse or beat on my head.
Oh, you just ignore them.
Question number 7 from Malaysia, from Chung Kam Ki. May I know how I can stop myself from losing my temper so easily when someone makes me angry?
You don't have mindfulness. If you have mindfulness, when you get angry, you know right away, and then you can stop it right away by using the mantra, or you can radiate metta, loving kindness, forgive the person, don't mind the person. Look at them like children. Yeah. They're like children, so they don't know what they do. Don't mind them. But if you have no mindfulness, then you become angry. You react right away, and you cannot stop your anger. So you need to develop more mindfulness first. And wisdom, you have to. If you want to use wisdom, you have to treat the person like nature, force of nature. You cannot stop them from doing anything. If they want to do something to hurt you, you cannot stop them. But you can stop yourself from getting hurt by not getting angry, by accepting that when you live in this world, there are things that you have to face, you have to meet, and the only way to face them, meet them in a happy way is just to ignore them, to don't mind them, let them be. Don't have any desire for them to go away or to disappear or to change.
Question number 8 from Canada, from Miss Debbie. After death, there is no more breath or body to be mindful of. So what type of mindfulness should there be when there is no body? Can we still recite Bhutto after death?
The mind then have to use the mindfulness that it has developed up to that point, and the mindfulness will then be the one that will direct the mind to. It's like when you go to sleep. When you go to sleep, then actually it's not your mindfulness anymore that will control your mind, but your karma, your good and your bad karma will be the one that will control your mind. If your bad karma is strong, then it will create bad dreams for you. If your good karma is stronger, then it will create good dreams. And when you have good dreams without the body, it means you are in heaven. If you have bad dreams, then it means you are in hell. So once you die, then you cannot control your mind. The karma will take over.
Can we still recite Bhutto after death?
Try it, I don't know. You don't need to anymore. Once you die, then the pain from the body will disappear, and then your mind will, like falling asleep, it goes into in a different state.
Can we still develop mindfulness
when you're alive? You cannot develop. How do you expect when you die to develop?
Okay. Question: do they still have Vedana, Sanya, Sankara after death?
Yes. Like when you have bad dreams, you have bad Vedana. When you have good dreams, you have good Vedana. See? And your good dreams or bad dreams relies on your Sanya and Sankara that you develop when you're still alive. When you do good karma, you're developing Sanya and Sankara to think in the way of good karma. And when you do bad karma, your Sanya and Sankara will think in the way of bad karma. So when you die, then they will replay itself like the movie that you shoot with your video camera. Then when you play it back exactly the same thing that you did before.
Okay, question number 9 from Miss Debbie also. Dear Ajahn, I was reviewing your instruction on the 10 ways of making merits, and I was hoping you could elaborate on number 7, which is humility and modesty. I find that in the West, people are encouraged to boast about their strength and accomplishment, and modest people often get overlooked. What does this quality look like, and how does one develop it?
Because humility makes you calm and peaceful. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. But once you boast that how strong you are, how good you are, then you have to keep trying to show that you are that. And sometimes when you cannot show it, you feel frustrated and angry. So it's better to be humble. Then you don't have to do anything, to prove anything to anybody. See? It makes your mind, the result is makes your mind calm and peaceful. But when you are not humble, it causes your mind to be agitated, restless, frustrated, because you want to show yourself how good you are, and sometimes you cannot show it or do it. And if you do it, you want to better yourself more of it. So it will just only hurt yourself more. You don't find peace and happiness from boasting, from trying to being conceit. But when you're humble, it's so nice, so comfortable. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to compete with anyone. You want to be number one, go ahead. I'd rather be number 10. So what? Number 1 or number 10, we die anyway. And then you don't hurt other people's feeling also. Because if you're always number 1, then people will hate you for it, right? But if you're number 10, then nobody hates you. People will sympathize with you.
Question number 10, from the same person, from Miss Debbie. Some people give gifts to their children's school teachers by saying that they made a donation to a charity in their honor. I'm under the impression that only departed relatives in the realm of hungry ghosts can benefit from such gifts. I'm wondering if the teacher can benefit from such a gift.
Well, when you give, the person who received the gift will benefit first of all, right? You give me something, the person who received the gift will be happy. And when you give that, you feel happy. Then you can share this happiness with the people who already died.
Okay. Question number 11 from Mr. Lau Man Yi. Bante, may I ask how to help my daughter who always have health problems and need to go through pain? She's only 4 years old this year, but has gone through 2 surgeries. I know the duty as a lay person is to follow 5 precepts closely, and I also recite Putta Guna Chan every day and make monthly donation. However, it seems that it does not help much. It does not help my daughter much. Bante, can you please advise how to help my daughter?
Well, actually, the problem is not your daughter. The problem is you, because you suffer when you see your daughter suffer. So you first have to deal with your problem first. You must not suffer because your daughter suffers. And in order for you not to suffer, you have to look at karma. The Buddha said people are what they are because of their past karma. So if your daughter is suffering, it's due to her bad karma in the past. That's caused her to face this consequence. And there's nothing you can do about it except whatever you can with the sending her to the doctor and the hospital. But whether she suffers or not, you don't know. Maybe she doesn't suffer. If she is a Sotapanna, she don't feel any pain. She won't suffer. So the problem is not your daughter. The problem is you. You suffer because you see your daughter suffer, and you don't want her to suffer. If you want to get rid of your suffering, then you must not want her not to suffer. You will have to leave it to her own karma. If she had good karma, maybe she only suffered the pain of the body, but not the mind. The mind might be peaceful and calm. So, but there's nothing you can help her, because this is her karma, the consequence of her past karma. But your problem you can solve yourself by accepting that this is the work of karma, the consequence of karma, and that there's nothing you can do about except whatever you can with the physical part, like sending her to a doctor, to the hospital. Whether she will get well or not, that's up to the doctor, up to the medicine. And whether she suffer or not, you don't know, because her mind might not suffer. If she has Dhamma, she might be able to let go of the with painful feeling. So there's nothing you can do regarding her. But what you can do is regarding yourself. You don't have to suffer with her, but accept that this is her karma, the consequence of her karma, and try just to do the best you can for her.
So his chanting and his money donation is for himself?
Yeah, more than for her.
Question number 12 from Chris Van Hout from Europe. Maybe this question is asked many times. What is actually the duty of a monk? When I see the monks here in Europe, it seems like they are going for traveling. They like to visit as many countries as possible. They go for opening of new restaurant, getting a new car, new house, etc. Some monks teach meditation, but some are tricky in the way that you have to donate money and so on. So what is actually the duty of a monk, and what should the monks who stay abroad actually have to do?
Well, the first duty of the monk is to study the Dhamma teaching. Second is to apply that teaching to his practice. Third is to become enlightened from the practice. Once he has become enlightened, then the fourth duty is to propagate this teaching to other people. Share this teaching, share this enlightenment to other people. But monks nowadays, they don't follow this rule. Once they ordain, they hardly study or practice, and they wait for the opportunity to go make money. They're waiting for invitation from lay people to invite them to their houses to chant on their birthday or on their anniversary or on whatever occasion. And this is what they thought the duty of monks are nowadays. They didn't think about study, they didn't think about practice, they didn't think about becoming enlightened. All they know is when you become a monk, learn how to chant, because if you can chant, then you will be invited to home. And when you're invited to home, you get money in return. And once you have enough money, then you can go travel, you can go buy things and so forth. So this is what most monks do when they go abroad. It's an opportunity for them to go overseas, to go, and there's a market for it, because lay people, Buddhists, once they go abroad, they need some spiritual support. So they feel that by inviting monks to stay in the same town, they can then rely on the monk to bless them, invite them to their home and bless their house or bless their business. So it turned into a commercialized type of Buddhism, not the spiritual type of Buddhism. If you want to look at the spiritual type, you have to follow the forest tradition. Most monks who are in the forest tradition, they don't go out on invitation. They go live in the forest, practice with the meditation teacher until they become enlightened. Once they become enlightened, they then separate from the teacher and develop a monastery and teach the people and monks how to meditate and how to become enlightened. These are really the duty of the monk. And this is what had been done since the time of the Buddha. The Buddha, when first he studied, then he practiced. When he became enlightened, then he started to spread the Dhamma, teach other people about the Dhamma. That's all he did. Every day he has four sessions of teaching, 3 sessions of teaching. In the afternoon he taught the lay people. At night he taught the monks. After that he taught the devata, the spiritual beings. That's all he did, just teach the Dhamma. Because nothing is as good as the Dhamma. But people now, they have been led astray, lost their way, because nobody pay attention to the teaching, nobody study the teaching, and so the traditions gradually mutate from studying to becoming more like ritualistic, And now people think Buddhism is all about ritual, about chanting, about giving dana. When you give dana and monk chant for you, then your business will be prosperous, your life will be long, you will live long, all your suffering will disappear. But that's not it, That's the sad truth, but that's the way it is.
From question number 13 from Penang, Malaysia, from N Tan. Hope Ajahn can advise, as I would like to strive and attain Sotapanna in this very life. It is my aspiration to enter the stream and become a stream enterer or Sotapanna in this very existence. Some teachers say they can get Sotapanna by just listening to the Dhamma. Some say meditation is the only way to achieve Sotapanna. Can we enter the stream by listening to the Dhamma, or must we also meditate?
It depends on how much strength you have in your mind. If you have strong, you can let go of your desire and then you can attain without having to sit in samadhi. But if your mind is weak, don't have the strength to resist your desire, then you have to meditate first, to calm your mind, to develop samadhi first. Once you have samadhi, then you have to understand the nature of the body, that it is impermanent, it doesn't belong to you, you're going to have to give it up one day. And if you can let it go, then you can become a Sotapanna. So it depends on what you have developed before. Some people already have samadhi. Like when the Buddha first gave his sermon to the 5 ascetics, they all have jhana already. So when the Buddha said, let go of your body, they let go right away. Like one of the 5 ascetics, the Venerable Ajahn, he said, whatever arises will have to cease. He refers to the body. Once the body is born, it's gonna die, and don't cling to it. When you cling to it, you become sad. You suffer. If you let it go, you will not suffer. So if you don't have the strength to let go, even though you know that the body will have to die, then you have to meditate to build up the strength to let go. See? Once you have the strength to let go, then when the time for you to let go, you can let go.
Question number 14 from Malaysia, from Jiaxin. I have 2 questions. What is the intention behind frivolous speech?
It's a waste of time. See, when you say something, you should say it and make it profitable, useful for the people who listen. Like the Buddha, he talked about Dhamma. He doesn't talk about the weather, talk about politics and so forth, because it's a waste of time. Doesn't profit the mind, doesn't benefit the mind. But when you talk about Dhamma, then the people who listen will benefit from that. See, like you here almost 2 hours now, over 2 hours now. Do we talk about politics? No. We talk about the Dhamma, right? Okay, so don't have frivolous talk. It's a waste of time. But people like to gossip. They like to gossip about that person, this person. Oh, he's richer than us. He's better than us. He's worse than us. Well, what for? It doesn't make you better or worse. Okay.
So the next question. I'm confused because nowadays people say they practice vipassana meditation such as rising and falling, but the Buddha got enlightened by practicing anapanasati. So my question is, if we practice anapanasati, is it just samatha or is also vipassana?
It's just samatha when you first anapanasati. But you first have to calm your mind before you can teach the mind vipassana. Because a cloudy mind will not understand. You have to have a clear mind. A clear mind has to be calm and peaceful. So you first have to prepare the mind for vipassana. You have to calm it first. So you need anapanasati. Once the mind is calm, then the Buddha can then contemplate on the impermanent nature of everything. Everything come and go, rise and cease, such as the body, such as Vedana. And to cling to them will only cause you suffering. If you don't want to suffer, then you have to leave them alone. That's vipassana.
Question number 16 from KL, Malaysia, from Mr. Matthew Lai. Can Ajahn please define non-self?
Non-self, there's no self in everything. The notion of self is created by the delusion of the mind. Everything is part of nature. Even this body is part of nature. And this body is made up from the food. The food comes from the earth, from the water, from the air, from the heat. Yeah. So there's nothing that is a self. A self is just a notion, an idea created by the delusion of the mind. And once it's created, it somehow sticks to the mind and cause the mind to think that there's a self in the mind, there's a self in the body. And when you have a self, then you have attachment. Because whatever is self, then you think it belongs to you. And you have to have it. And if you don't have it, then you suffer. So you don't want to lose it. But when you lose it, you suffer anyway. So once you see that everything is not self, then you don't cling to anything. Like we don't cling to the wind, we don't cling to the sun, the rain. We leave them alone, right? They can come and they can go, they can rise and cease, and doesn't bother us. But with this body, we claim to be ourselves. So when they rise, we're happy. When they cease, we're sad. If we don't want to be sad, then we have to look at the body just like the wind and the water and the rain. They come and go. They rise and cease.
Question number 17 from Martin Shiver. I am a 36 years old male meditator and has been meditating since 2015 using mantra Bhutto. Since 10 years, I stuck on the level of Sotapanna. Now this body is falling apart, which is sickness. Can Ajahn give me advice?
Well, if you are Sotapanna, then you won't be affected by whatever happens to the body. You can let it be, because you know there's nothing else you can do. You cannot stop it, you cannot prevent it from happening. If the body is gonna get sick, it's gonna get sick. If the body is gonna die, it's gonna die. But you don't have to suffer with it if you separate yourself from the body. Look at the body like you're looking at some other people's body. They are the same. Other people's body, when they get sick, you're not hurt by it, right? So why should you be hurt by this body? It's the same thing. It doesn't belong to you. It's not you. It's a temporary possession. That's all. So you have to let it go when it happened.
Question number 18 from Malaysia. I am Ajit Lim from Nalanda Youth Center, Malaysia. I have always wanted to be a monk since I experienced Pabaja when I was 16. Now I am 20 years old. But I still don't know when is the right time for me to renounce. Would like to ask Panachan, when is the best time to renounce?
When you're ready.
So you will know when it's ready.
You know it yourself. Everybody has to know when they're ready. When they're ready, then they become a monk. When they're not ready, then they're not yet become a monk.
Question number 19 from Jakarta, from Miss Lily Halim. In my country, I saw a lot of teachers who teach Dhamma in the wrong way. They say they teach Dhamma based on Tipitaka Pali books. The Tipitaka is not wrong, but the way they teach is wrong because all of them may not have experienced the Dhamma themselves. If they have experienced the Four Noble Truths, they will have the know-how to explain the Dhamma. So I think I must help them. But the problem is that they reject me. I mentioned that if they hold on the Tipitaka so tight, the result is their ego gets bigger and there's no wisdom in it. This is so dangerous. So I wish that they all be careful in their teaching. So my question is, Dhamma is not easy. They come from different level. What should I do?
You just practice do your part and don't worry about other people. Practice and become enlightened, and then you can become a teacher yourself.
Okay.
That's all?
Yeah. The last one is not a question. It's from Indonesia, from Miss Sasana Devi Susan. She sent a photo, and she say about the photo is Long Po Sombat, and the other one is Mr. Cornelis Wawor, who is a Buddhist teacher in Indonesia, and he was a monk at Wat Bawon for 7 Vasa and stayed together side by side with Panachan. So he told us about Ajahn. So last October, she and her husband came to see Ajahn. Does Panachan still remember him?
40 years ago. 1975. 41 years ago. 75. Yeah, 41 years ago.
Sorry. So this guy
You know, people change, you know, 41 years.
See clearly.
No, no way, you know. You saw them for a few weeks, and then they were monks. They shaved their head, you know. Now they're a lay person 41 years later. But if you listen to their talk, you can remember, because people's speech don't change much, like the body. They still speak the same way. The sound still. The other day, I have a friend I met before I was a monk, and I haven't seen him for almost that time. When I saw his face, I couldn't recognize him. But when he started talking, I said, "Oh yeah, I know who you are." So
it's the same way with if we know someone like from
past life, yeah. It's their pattern of speech, the way how they talk. This thing don't change, or the way they act with their body, you know. This thing is a habit that comes with the mind, not with the body. That's why when you see people, sometimes you like them right away, because the way they behave, they conduct themselves, is somebody you used to like, so you like them. And the same way with other people, when you see them, you don't like them. It's because the way how they conduct themselves, not because of their face or their body. But it's the mind. That's a manifestation of the mind. Our action are the manifestation of the mind. Okay, that's all the question for today. Okay, thank you for sending in the question. And if you have any more questions, please do send them. And in about 1 month, we'll have another session like this. In the meantime, may you all be well and happy. ก็ขอยุติการแสดงไว้เพียงเท่านี้ ขอให้ท่านทั้งหลายนำเอาสิ่งที่ได้ยินได้ฟังในวันนี้ไปพินิจพิจารณาไปปฏิบัติ เพื่อความสุขความเจริญยิ่งขึ้นไปเถิด